Welcome back everybody to Forza Motorsport. So we're continuing on with the 20th anniversary tour, and this championship is focusing on Forza Motorsport 5. So yeah, looks like our first race is going to be at Bathurst. So yeah, let's see about the car that we're going to be getting in. So obviously it is the cover car for each game, and yeah, the cover car for Forza Motorsport 5 was the 2013 McLaren P1. So yeah, one of three hybrid hypercars that came out around this time. Obviously you had the Ferrari LaFerrari and the Porsche 918, I think it was called. But regardless, yeah, this is the one we're going to be dealing with, and as you can see, plenty of speed and acceleration, fair decent amount of handling and braking. 903 horsepower, 663 pounds-feet of torque for its 3.8 litre twin turbocharged V8 combined with its hybrid system. So yeah, and it only weighs 3,296 pounds, which is not bad considering, you know, it's essentially got two engines, and yeah, it's hardly a small car either. So yeah, we're gonna buy it. It's only 282,800 credits at the moment because there is a percentage off. Yeah, we'll keep it in orange. I think it looks best in that colour, to be honest. Right. Take a quick look at the acceleration stats. But first, yeah, we're going to be 4 laps around Bathurst, so there's obviously a good number of straights on that circuit to make the most of this car's power, but it's going to be all about the handling really with that circuit for the most part. So yeah, 0 to 16, 2.9 seconds, 0 to 105.2 seconds, and going to a top speed of 250 miles an hour, which is obviously quicker than the original McLaren F1. So hardly a slouch at all, this car. But unlike, say, the Porsche hybrid hypercar, the pretty sure it's a 918. But regardless, yeah, that was all-wheel drive. This is only rear-wheel drive, just like the Ferrari is. But yeah, so if we are in any kind of wet conditions, it's going to perhaps be a little bit tricky to drive. But I doubt we've got any wet conditions here at Bathurst, being in Australia and all. And I don't know, Australia does get a lot of rain at times, but it's unlikely to suddenly appear in this race. Right, so, yeah, the glitch is here again for the fuel. And pressing A and nothing is happening, and obviously the fuel for 6 laps is clearly not going to be the right amount at 100%. So let's just all sit and wait while this glitch that still happens, despite all of the complaints that I've raised about it, that still happen. And happen some more. At least, as much as I disliked Forza Motorsport 5 because it did feel like a rushed game to get out on the new Xbox console, at least it never had any glitches like this. And it's still playing up now as well. Come on, let me choose. How difficult is it to work out how much fuel I want and to allow me to press done and get on with it? Alright, there we go, let's go race. So yeah, Forza Motorsport 5, like I said, one of my least, probably is my actual least favourite game in the Forza Motorsport series. And this is because it felt rushed. It had some innovative aspects to it, granted, but the car list was really on the short side of things, and yeah, it just didn't feel all that much in the way of tracks either. Plus, for whatever reason, it just looked really like drab and dreary in some regards in terms of the colour palette that we use. So yeah, just did not feel like a game that was on a new console outside of some graphical upgrades. It just felt entirely rushed and incomplete. A little bit like this game, to be honest, because this is also a game that feels like it was rushed and incomplete in some regards, especially given the amount of tracks that have been added to the game that quite frankly should have been there to start with, and the fact that the car list is nowhere near as varied or in-depth as you might expect, especially in comparison to what I feel like is the second best game in this game series, Forza Motorsport 7. And that's only second. Oh dear. this car's driving characteristics. That's only second because I have a lot of nostalgia for Forza Motorsport 4, but it's undoubtedly the better game, even if it's not quite my favourite. Because that game did have a really good car list, plenty of tracks. Sorry, Pagani, and yeah. It's had a fair decent amount of content going for it as well, just to play in and delve into and such, so and even though this has obviously got the advantage of being able to update the game every so often, you know, add tracks, add cars, which didn't really happen on the Forza Motorsport 7 outside of, I feel like, the car packs and such on the car pass. Why are the brakes so bad on this car? Supposedly really good brakes, plus an air brake on top of that, which is providing the kind of braking power of a standard kind of car. So, you know, but yeah, this does have some advantages over the previous game. I just feel like there's a lot on this game that should have been here to start with. Nürburgring, for instance, why didn't this game ship with that straight away? It's not like we've never had the track before. There can't have been too much extra stuff to do to it outside of the previous game. I know they had to apply the new physics to the tracks, but yeah, it just feels like it was a lot that should have been here to start with, wasn't, and therefore we're on the back foot with getting stuff that we've not had on a Forza game for a while or at all, and therefore, you know, still lagging behind. And I can perfectly see why a lot of people have not kept up with this game and stopped playing it and such. I'm playing it purely because I feel like I am still getting something from it, be it doing these championships or racing online and such, but yeah, I can definitely see why some people have just fallen out of favour with it. They're basically waiting for Forza Horizon 6 basically. But I feel like that game is a long way off yet. We've not had an announcement from it yet. And I know the summer showcase is currently occurring, so who knows, it might well have been announced, or will be announced at some point, but given that, you know, Playground Games are also still working on Fable, and obviously Forza Horizon 5 has dropped off its support. I feel like they're all hands on deck with that game, quite frankly, to get it out. It's already been delayed. I don't think it's coming out now until next year, so why the brakes on this is just not working for me. So yeah, I don't expect a new Forza Horizon game for at least another year after Fable comes out, so but I'll happily be wrong, especially if it's going to be set in a new country that we've not had before and is an interesting country at that. Especially if it's a country that, you know, we've not had many cars from before, or cars that are kind of unique to that kind of country. The big thing with the game being set in Mexico for the 5th game was, you know, we've got a lot of cars there that we've not had before that are informed by Mexico, Mexican car culture, cars that are built in Mexico and such, so yeah. And that's one reason why the 5th game is my second favourite, with the 4th being my absolute favourite, purely because that was set in the UK, and yeah, there were a lot of cars in there that were informed by that, by being placed in the UK, and yeah, a lot of oddities that we've never had before. To be honest, most of them haven't made a return, and yeah, I just really enjoyed all of those weird cars that we've, like I said, rarely seen before. That's why Forza Horizon 4 is my current favourite Forza Horizon game. Oh dear. Although I would say Forza Horizon 3 is my third favourite. It's pretty much a dead heat between the first and second. Obviously the second one was innovative in its own way in terms of, you know, allowing us to free roam anywhere, rather than the first game where we were purely welded to the roads, and yeah, there was a rally pack or whatever that came out afterwards, but you were restricted just to the roads. You couldn't just, you know, drive anywhere basically. We're doing shockingly on this race so far. I'm just not getting the feel of this car whatsoever, especially when it comes to the brakes, which, yeah, are just feeling quite numb and unresponsive in a lot of ways. Come on, why? I'm not even the biggest fan of this car, I'll admit that, but even I'm like expecting a lot better from it performance-wise. It's just not delivering. Plenty of cars that, you know, have performance even more so than this, and their brakes have been better. Hell, even older cars that are heavier and, you know, just as quick have performed better than this. These Zondas are definitely better in the corners than out when we are. I don't think we need to concentrate on upgrading the power with this car whatsoever. It's going to be the handling for sure. Bathurst is hardly my strong circuit. It's quite a tricky one at times, especially with all of these corners at the back end. Seventh. Nope. Not braking like that. Well, that's hardly the strongest of starts with an 8th place position. That only means that we gained 4 places overall that race. We just weren't able to make most of these cars immense power and great deal of speed and acceleration, as yeah, those brakes were just not working for us whatsoever there for whatever reason. Maybe it was me, maybe it's the car, maybe it's the track, I don't know, but yeah, that isn't particularly great. So yeah, let's get to the upgrade screen, see if we can cure any of these cars' ills, and then let's get on to the second race. Right, so obviously the big problem with this was braking and general handling, so yeah, we're definitely going to have to do the tyres, because we can't actually physically do the brakes themselves, because apparently they're perfect, believe it or not. So yeah, we'll do the race compound, we'll do the front and the rears, which does take up most of the PI we have to play with. So yeah, I'm not sure if we can, yeah, let's drift only. I think we're not going to have enough to do the weight. We can't even do the engine, for whatever reason. So we'll lighten the hood, give it the rear bumper that does normally improve handling, but not this time. Could give it the race wings and such, but we won't. The race gearbox. Yeah, we really can't do all that much with this car. I guess that'll be it. We can't even get it up to full PI. I really am baffled by why we can't even do the engine at all, or the flywheel, or driveline, or clutch. If we can do the transmission, why can't we do the clutch? But yeah, whatever. We'll just settle with that, I guess. Clearly, this car is so perfect, you can't really do anything with it. Not that I agree with that. So yeah, what's that done for us? So yeah, we're now doing 0 to 16 2.578 seconds, 0 to 104.790, and we're still got the same top speed. So yeah, and we are at Yas Marina circuit. So again, has a couple of, or maybe 3, I guess you could say, quite quick sections. So yeah, and only 4 laps again. Although this is a shorter track than Bathurst, so this should be a quicker race. Hopefully we won't have any issues with the fuel.
The 21-turn Yas Marina circuit was designed by famous track designer Herman Tilke, situated on Yas Island near...
So yeah, there are plenty of tracks that they could add to this game, but quite frankly I have not heard anything in terms of what the next updates are going to be like. We all pretty much knew that Fuji Mikado was coming, and that they inevitably would add some cars with that as well, which they did. But yeah, what new track they're going to add, if any at all, I don't know. I just want them to just add cars at a much more consistent rate. They just don't seem to be doing it all that much. And even though some cars are obviously being added via doing these championships and such, the fact is doing these championships does take a while, because you can't do them back to back. You have to wait a week to do the next one. Which is fine. I'm not too fussed about staggering what isn't released. Forza Horizon 5 did that with their festival playlist, but in the day with the festival playlist, when it was at its peak, you were at least getting maybe 2 cars a week, and then you could get up anywhere between 6 to maybe 10 cars a month. It's really not getting that kind of number with this game. And the cars we are getting are generally more race orientated than anything else, which just doesn't float my boat, to be honest. So yeah, I do prefer my road cars. I do prefer my oddities in terms of road cars as well. But this game is clearly not too fussed about adding anything that's, you know, underpowered or not, you know, basically a properly equipped car in a lot of ways. Now granted, that Toyota Mark II, I think it was called, it's hardly the quickest of things, and neither was the Tomoza Pantera, but they at the end of the day can still do about 150 miles an hour. If that's, you know, Turn 10's idea of a slow car, then yeah, I've really lost sight of what can make this game fun. And I know that's a problem for a lot of people when it comes to this game as well. Lack of variety, you know. Absolutely zero focus on unpowered cars that can become quick, or unpowered cars that can just be race stock and have fun with. Quite frankly, it's come down to the fact that the Forza Horizon series has had the better car list in general when you look at all of the games combined. This and Forza Motorsport 5 far weaker than previous games. Whereas I feel like the Forza Horizon series has been fairly consistent in terms of its car variety. But there's me waffling while we're in 4th place, which is Sounds like better than last time. These tyres are certainly helping out, especially when it comes to braking. Also helping us put the power down as quickly as possible. So it's the Ferrari up front, which is, yeah, also a hybrid hypercar, although the hybrid system in that is there purely to make the car faster. It's not about being environmentally friendly or running the car only on electric mode like with this. Electric motor and the batteries in that are purely there to fill in the gaps between what the engine can do, and that's it. At least a podium position should do wonders for our overall position. This is definitely a circuit more suitable for this car, given that it's hardly the smallest of vehicles, and even though it's got really good handling now, I just don't feel it was agile enough in the stock form to really deal with the succession of corners on Bathurst, so yeah, whereas the corners in here are a lot more spread out. Not as long of a straight here though as they were on Bathurst, because we're getting up to more than 200 there. Whereas we're doing about 194 there, so yeah, this does have its advantages as a track over Bathurst for this car, but straight line performance isn't quite as able to be utilised as well. It's clearly the more suitable track because we are on second. Understeering this car though, I find.
One more. Finish strong.
I'm trying, don't worry. Have more power than the Zonda, we probably have more torque as well. I imagine that car is lighter. We are reeling him in on this straight, not by a huge amount. Zonda just seems to be a bit more capable for the corners than we are, even with the upgrades that we've given it. Onto the wall, unfortunately. At least we only did it the once on this race, unlike that first, so we did it more than that. Well, second place is good. It will certainly help us on our leaderboard overall. Would have liked first, but we just weren't able to get past that Zonda, which as you can see has the faster lap time as well. So yeah, guess that makes sense. So yeah, but as you can see, we go all the way up to 4th place on the leaderboard, and it is fairly close between us top 4. There's only 2 points in it between me and 3rd and 2nd, and only 4 points between me and 1st. So yeah, still everything to play for in this championship. The car has gotten better with the upgrades they've given it, but I'm still not a massive fan of this car in general, quite frankly. It's just, yeah, not a car that I get along with in a lot of ways, to be honest. So yeah, and it is a bit of a shame that we can't do more to it as well. Can't do anything to the engine, can't do anything to the brakes, the suspension, the clutch, the driveline. You know, it just feels like a car that is already just so perfect that it can't really be done much to it, which is a bit of a shame. But still, has got us into 4th position overall. So let's hopefully get higher than that in the next 2 races in the next episode. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.